wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ali Tahir 60, brothers and sisters at your service again. A letter was written regarding, it's just Jummah. I'm going to be rushing off very shortly. However, I thought it was really important to get this video out. A letter was written to the Charity Commission on our behalf yesterday to the brothers, to the Charity Commission. And this letter quite succinctly, demonstrates and highlights all the issues that have taken place since 2014. It was written by a brother of ours, a very learned brother of ours, and it was written to a Mr. Sladen, who is the current officer charged with dealing with the affairs of the current committee, the financial mismanagement and the masjid closure. Okay, so I'm going to read this letter from start to end. It really is a very comprehensive letter, and I do thank the brother. I'm not going to mention him by name. I do thank the brother for drafting this and getting this out to the Charity Commission yesterday. Okay, I'm going to read the letter from start to finish. Hopefully take about 10 minutes. I'm going to try to get through it. Forgive me for my diction. A few of the words are technical in here, but please bear with me. Okay, dear Mr. Sladen, that's Christopher Sladen from the Charities Commission. I would like to raise two very serious issues with you today. Number one, financial management. Number two, unjustified masjid closure. Okay, we go on to number one, financial mismanagement. Accounts for the year ending March 2019 were submitted on the 8th of January 2020. Putting aside the huge waste of money, there is an alarming disclosure on page 16 under note 15 in relation to restricted funds, which states the following, open brackets, £22,000 was transferred from the Sadaqah bank account, which is a restricted fund, to the main bank account on the 29th of the 3rd, 2019. Okay. The Masjid Committee then goes on to state that this will be transferred back to the Sadaqah bank account within, months. A number of months, I assume they may be stating by that. Okay, the Sadaqah funds, and the letter goes on to read by the brother, the Sadaqah funds were donated to give to the poor and the needy. It is a restricted fund and should never be used for general expenditure on the masjid, even in a even temporarily, and certainly not for an indefinite period. This is a clear indication that the masjid is under financial pressure due to the ongoing boycott. Okay, due to the complete lack of transparency, another failure of governance as well, for that matter. We don't know what the current financial position is. Okay, however, based on the balance in the last year and the regular expenditure, they are unlikely to have maintained unrestricted funds at an equivalent level to between 3 and 6 months expenditure, a stated policy of the charity. See page 4 on the accounts. I'm going to put a link in the accounts in the video below. We know that you were quick to investigate the bank account we had opened after the committee reported it to you. We hope you will respond in a similar vein and treat this matter with the same degree of urgency for what is arguably a far more serious matter. Moreover, we understand that the committee has recently taken interest-free loans, as in Qarz Hasana, okay, from individuals, thereby indebting the charity, which appear that there are sufficient funds in the bank to cover the expenditure. Okay, I am going to make a note on this. Inshallah, once the brothers take charge of the masjid, we will be running under a new charity name, most likely. And again, I would demand, brothers, now that are owed Qarz Hasana, to take back your money, because you will not be provided this money back from the new charity that takes over the masjid. Okay, please get your money back as soon as possible. Right, number two, the letter goes on to state the unjustified masjid closure. The frustration of the ongoing dispute since 2014 and the committee's persistent refusal to resolve it through independent arbitration led to some individuals to occupy the mosque office with the support of those named on the land registry. The public insisted that the matter was civil and should be left to the High Court and the Charity Commission, but after several hours of discussion, the police concluded that the building belonged to the committee and not the individuals named on the deeds. This was based entirely on the advice of Sergeant Neil Tullock, received from you. That's the first page. Before access was returned to the committee, we understand that the committee recording devices were removed to avoid potential criminal allegations, which the committee has pursued for the smallest of issues. Some individuals also refused to leave the main hall and and cover the CCTV cameras with tape until the police removed them. The committee declared the incident as a burglary and closed the masjid, citing health and safety concerns and ongoing repairs. The masjid is still closed today. This is the 17th consecutive day. I understand you have written to Mr. Mehboob Baymani, the chairman of the masjid, to ask for an explanation of the closure of the masjid. He will no doubt cite vague health and safety reasons, concerns, and will claim that it's based on the advice from the police. However, we do have a letter contradicting this, neither of which are true. The following points may also help you to understand that Mr. Baymani's narrative is false and the closure of the masjid is completely unjustified. A. The committee office is a separate part of the building with its own access, regardless of whether the intention was to occupy the office or carry out a burglary. It is more appropriate to increase the security around the office rather than close the entire masjid. B. Apart from CCTV not being operational, there was no evidence of risk to health and safety of worshippers. It is a mandatory for the mosque to have a working CCTV system. Is this a valid reason to close the place of worship? Does it take over 2 weeks to replace a CCTV system? C. 6th of January, the fire brigade was called out because the committee had barricaded the main fire exit by securing a large piece of wood with nails on the doors. The fire brigade considered this a serious breach and immediately removed it and carried on with an audit which highlighted many failures. Mr. Stuart Grout from the London Fire Brigade can be contacted for more information. The fire door was barricaded by the committee to prevent the ongoing peaceful protests against the building work, which would only be accessed through the fire exit. The same building work was stopped in 2017 after protests from the public because there had been no public consultation. The committee restarted the work in November 2017 without any warning to the local congregation. This is the real reason why the mosque remains closed. Many builders have been seen on the premises over the last 2 weeks. It is also evidence that in reality, the committee does not understand nor have any concern for the health and safety of its worshippers. D. In an email dated 31st of the 1st, 2020 at 6:48, the committee stated, open brackets, if this do not donate group members involved in the burglary, assault cases, harassment cases, plead guilty, and the rest of them promise to behave in the masjid and follow the code of conduct respectively, then the masjid will open immediately. It is very important for all of us to maintain sanctity of the masjid and in all circumstances. Is it fair to collectively punish thousands for the actions of a few? E. The mosque was due to open on the 27th of the 1st based on letters sent to the parents of the children that attend madrasa. This was confirmed in a message to Sergeant Neil at around 3 p.m. on Sunday, 26th of 1st, 2020. However, a few hours later, parents received a message stating that it would not open as repairs are still ongoing. Mr. Baymani was not aware at 3 p.m. that there were still more than 10 days worth of repair works. Was Mr. Baymani not aware at 3 p.m. that there were still 10 days worth of repair works to complete? F. Parents received the following messages yesterday. From the committee, we regret to inform you that the madrasa will remain closed for today. We are trying our level best to complete the work towards reopening the madrasa within this week, inshallah. There is also a lot more activity in the mosque last night, so we expected it to open today or tomorrow. However, after the police invited the committee to a meeting, a further message was received today which confirmed that the CCTV was now repaired, but added that the management have a meeting with the local authorities and the police department on Wednesday the 12th of February to put measures in place that ensure the safety and security of all attendees of the masjid, including our children and staff. After which we will be able to let everyone know the exact date that the madrasa will reopen. The meeting with the police is to find a resolution to the underlying dispute and not about how the mosque can be reopened. When the mosque was closed, the committee suggested to the police had advised them to close it to avoid a backlash from the community, but the police categorically denied it. The message to the builds on the myth suggesting that it will only be reopened after a meeting with the police. Despite a long list of failures and ever stronger words from you, the committee continues its oppression upon the community unhindered and unabashed. Failure to appoint an independent arbitrator for over 2 years even after your demands in March 2019 and a recent assault of a worshipper by the chairman himself and Mr. Mehboob Baymani himself have failed to make any difference. The committee can now confidently ignore your requests without fear of any form of sanction. I hope the financial mismanagement and the impending insolvency, along with the ongoing closure of the masjid, have finally convinced you to take swift and decisive action. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Regards. It's a 3-page letter. It's a stellar effort on the brother's part to draft this. I'm not too sure how long this was, but it was important for me to get this letter, read it out. Please again, forgive me for my diction. I have to read it really, really quickly because I am now literally on my way to the masjid. But please do realize that this committee has not changed its tack. Again, it is punishing the worshippers of the masjid, and the closure is unjustified. And again, the financial mismanagement has been, clinically examined here, and there was no reason for them to spend sadaqah. I'm going to rush off to the masjid. Please forgive me.